Hello, this is Akiko Sudano at stampinginthemeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to be making a thank you card today using the pretty new Timeless Arrangements bundle from Stampin Up. And hold a second, let me make sure I'm situated here. My husband is out there cutting the grass on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and so the every once in a while you'll be able to hear him go by, and I apologize for that. Apologize for the distraction there. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Click to expand. Perfect. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining me. So, this is Akiko Sudano at stampinginthemeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be making this card today. And this is with the new Timeless Arrangements stamp set, and I've used it. This is a beautiful stamp set, and it's a stamp. A photopolymer stamp set with a set of coordinating dies, a huge set of coordinating dies, and I'm making a thank you card. And the thing with the stamp set, let me go ahead and show you the stamp set first, is you've got so many different sentiments that express gratitude, but there's also different kinds of sentiments so that you can use it for the inside of the card or for the outside of the card. Hi, Chi. Thank you so much for joining me. So that you can use it for the inside of the card and the outside of the card. And then you've also got some a couple of different little flower sprigs and stuff that you can use with the in your card making. And there's also dies that coordinate with this one, not with this one, but with these five. There's with these five flowers and stuff. But then the dies are really wonderful. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much. Yes, happy Sunday. It's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. So the dies are really, really wonderful. Also, you've got these are the dies that I talked about earlier that cut out the stamped images. And then also you've got three different label size dies, and you can use these. These are perfect with a lot of these sentiments or with any other sentiments that you might have that you want to express. Let me show you on the card that I did, the die that for the sentiments. You've got outline piercing, and then you've got like a little cross stitch in the center of each of those, and then a little stitch on either side of the cross stitch, and that makes a pretty little quaint little die cut label for your sentiment. And you've got three different sizes, and then you've got these greenery die cuts that you can use as well to cut different shapes. You've got the leaves here, and then some flowers, and some berry sprigs here, and they've got a bar that you can use to attach it to, and here's the die cut that I'm going to be using for the card, where you can see how it cuts I guess the bar behind it, and you can use that to easily adhere that to your card base or to the back of the label. And what I did for my card today is I adhered them to the back of the label. And since you've got so many different arrangements and stuff, and they kind of intersperse with each other, you can make some really, really fancy labels with different greenery and different flowers surrounding it. But for today's card, I kept it very simple because my background is very busy with a floral, small floral pattern, and this is from the delightfully eclectic designer series paper that is in the new catalog. And because it's such a busy background, I decided to keep the flowers behind the label, the flowers and the leaves behind the label, very simple. And this way, I think it balances the busyness of the designer series paper. You could also use this with an embossed solid color background, and that would be very pretty, and that would be where you would really want to go all out with making all kinds of fancy die cut flowers and leaves to go around your sentiment. And you can see the leaves are perfectly sized to accent the sentiment label. So one of the things that I wanted to also show is that what I did was I took a piece of the vellum, because I felt like the leaves are very, very delicate, and they kind of disappear in the busy designer series paper. So I took a piece of this polka dotted vellum, and this is from the Vellum basics pattern, and it's just a very simple pattern. But when you put the vellum, and even with a plain vellum behind it, it helps to make the greenery stand out a little bit more. And I think that's a nice thing about using your vellum designs. You see how that just kind of fades away, and then it stands out a little bit more with just adding a little bit of vellum, whether it's a design vellum or it's a plain vellum. So let's go ahead and get started with making the card. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to adhere this designer series paper panel to an old olive mat, and I'm going to do this with liquid glue. Let me put my pieces over here. I'm just going to adhere this with liquid glue and try to, and I'll have the sizes of everything in my blog post tomorrow, but the mat is 1/8 of an inch larger on both sides than the designer series paper, so that I have just a little bit of the old olive peeking behind it, and this way I end up with a little bit better definition between the pink of the pink background, the pink flowers, since there's so many of them, and the pink card base. And the pink that I'm using is the bubble bath. So I've adhered this down. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take, where did my vellum circle go? Here it is. And my die cut vellum, and this circle is cut with the largest stylish shapes dies, and I'm going to adhere this with just some Stampin' Seal, and just stick this kind of in the center. Put a couple of strips of this in the center, and I think I want to try to make sure that it's you can feel the stitching on the from the stylish shapes dies here, and I'm going to try to make my polka dots go horizontal, and just try to keep it in the center here. I think okay. It might be a little bit off, but I think it's okay, and I think it's straight. The polka dots kind of disappear, but if you look carefully, it's really kind of hard to see them. They kind of disappear, but if you look closely at the card, then it's one of those details that slowly reveals itself. All right, so this guy is prepared. Now I want to go ahead and let's do some stamping. I'm going to go ahead and stamp, and this is just the thank you stamp from the Timeless Arrangement stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this in old olive ink on just a small piece of basic white here. And just keep it simple. There we go. And I'm going to use this is the smallest of the dies, and I'm going to go and take this to my die cutting machine that's right behind me, and I'm going to cut this out. And I'll be right back. It's going to just take a second here. Just want to try to keep it. I think with the large sentiment like this, it's fairly easy to keep it straight, but you still want to do your best to keep your sentiments straight on your label, even when it's die cutting. And it's easier, I think, to arrange it by stamping it first. Okay, so here we go. And there's our pretty label. All right, so we've got this. And then the next thing we're going to do, put the die away, is I'm going to stamp the flower, and I'm going to use tuxedo black ink to stamp the flower. And I'm just doing one flower. It's a very simple flower. But it comes out pretty nice. And then I'm going to color it with the light bubble bath Stampin' Blend. And I don't know if I said before, the pink on the card base and the flowers is the bubble bath, and that's one of the new colors. And it's a true pink. It's really pretty. I just want to color all the petals and not really do any shading. It's such a small piece, it doesn't need any shading. And then, since I've used Old Olive to cut the die cuts, I'm going to, okay, this wants to come up a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to use Old Olive for the color of the leaves. Just add a little bit of color there. And then I want to cut this little guy out with the coordinating die. So I'll be right back, and after I cut that out, and here's our flower, and I can put that away later. All right, so then now I've got my flower, and I've already die cut the piece of greenery, and the die that I used for that is this one with the leaves. So I'm going to adhere this with, I think I'm going to just continue to use glue dots to adhere this. I think you can use either one, but I want to put the flower kind of on this side. So I'll take this off and put the glue dot just to the side here. And kind of want the flower to be in between these two leaf sprigs. So we'll just kind of see, and hopefully, yeah, I got the glue dot over far enough. Can move it over just a little bit more. There we go. Is enough? Yeah, enough. The leaves are showing. There we go. And then I'm going to put 2 more glue dots on this label and adhere the greenery die cut to the back of that. I'm going to use my... Now this is, you can see that this is just barely, the label is just barely long enough. So you've got some wiggle room as to how high or low or how far to the right or left you want to go to adhere the label to the greenery. So I think we're good with this, and give these guys a good press. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bow with the, since I can find here, I stuck the ribbon underneath with this is the Sweet Sorbet metallic ribbon, and it is a light sweet sorbet, and so it really goes really nicely with a lot of the bubble bath and the other pink. So I'm just going to make a loopy bow. And the nice thing too about this ribbon is that the knots are very, very flat, so you can pull it real tight and make a nice flat knot there, and it'll be fine. So I'm going to just take this and cut this off first, and then adhere this to the card with another dot of not liquid glue, with another glue dot. There we go. It's fine. Here we go. And the only thing I want to do is I want to put most of the greenery on the vellum circle. So I want that to straddle the bow. So I want the bow to be about right here on this petal of this large flower. So I'll stick the glue dot right there. That's going to be fine. Good. And then I'm going to adhere my label with glue dots. Not glue dots. Hi, Marianne. Thank you for joining me. And Tara, thank you also. Yes, Karen, I think it would be good for a sympathy card. It would be this. I think that the flowers like this are so and would be are so versatile. I was also thinking it's past Mother's Day, but for Mother's Day or for birthdays. But it goes real well with and you can make it really, really fancy, or you can keep it simple, which is just so versatile. I'm looking for my dimensionals because I'm going to adhere the label with dimensionals. And I'm going to put on the edges here my little half dimensionals. There we go. Let's see. I think I needed one more for the center also. So put this one right here in the center. And yep, I think that's going to be good. Oops. But the Sweet Sorbet ribbon, before I thought that it's a light Sweet Sorbet, but I find that it goes really, really well with a lot of the new pinks and with the berry burst as well. Probably better than with the Sweet Sorbet. keep my sentiment straight. I think that's good. There we go. Oh, you know what? I wanted to stick one more dimensional underneath the flower there to keep my flower still. So what I do is I'll take it off of, so that I've got the backings off of both sides, and then I can just gently lift my piece up and slide it underneath like that, and then press down, and there, it stays down. Okay, so now we've got pretty much everything on the front, and we just need to get our panel covered with dimensionals and put on the card. There we go. And then pull the covers off. Is that the last? I think. Oh, no, that's it. Okay, now let's find our card base right here and just put it on. So this is a very simple one, but you can go very, very elaborate, and it's beautiful. It's going to be beautiful either which way. Okay, for the embellishments, one of the new things that they have in the new catalog are these tinsel gems. I think they're called tinsel gems, and you've got a package of 4 of them, and then another package of three different colors. This is the one with the 4 different colors, and I think this is Pretty Peacock. Berry Burst is the pink, and this is the blueberry bushel, and this is the lemon lime twist. But it's it goes real well with, you can see here, it goes real well with both the ribbon as well as the floral flowers in the background. So I'm going to just add some of these guys. Let me get on the label, and then add 2 more embellishments right here. There we go. And that, I think that the colors go so well together. So I was really pleased about that. All right, so let's work on the inside of the card. And basically, I've got another sentiment, and then I've got the circle stamp from the stamp set, and I'm going to be doing that in bubble bath ink. Let's find my basic white panel, starting with the basic white panel, and I will start with the sentiment in Old Olive, and I'm using the sentiment that says, "I really appreciate you." And I've used the sentiments on, I think I used the sentiments on in this pack for a Mother's Day card as well, and for a birthday card, because they're just so versatile that way. And I think that looks good. And these circles are so fun. I'm going to stamp this in bubble bath, and stamp it first, I think, over here. And it just adds a little something. It doesn't really distract from it. And then try to line this up with the other set of circles, but it doesn't, so that you have kind of a design on either side of the sentiment, and it just adds a little bit of something else to the inside of the card. And finish the inside panel with another strip of the Designer Series paper, and using liquid glue to adhere these little strips. This paper, it's hard for me to tell. I don't think there's a right side or a wrong way for this paper to be oriented. It's pretty much got a design all the way around. Does that look? Did that slide? There we go. There. And I will apply Stampin' Seal around the panel to adhere the panel to the inside of the card. There it is. Really appreciate you, and thank you. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.